Okay, I'm finally sitting down to do this. I have a show in a couple of months and I need mallets. I've been borrowing a pair of mallets from a friend, and I'm finally going to spend today making a pair by myself. So to start off, I have some strapping tape. That's the kind of tape that has the thread running through it. I have a pair of scissors. I have some yarn needles. I got this pack on Amazon. It's basically just big fat needles with big eye holes. And I have some yarn. I spent some time going through this bag that I got from my local Buy Nothing group. And this is the only one that has a label on it that says it's 100% wool. And I think I'm gonna try this one. I hope that there's enough here, I'm not sure. Because I really want to get the felting effect. When wool rubs against itself, it tangles up and then you end up with a felted mallet. So fingers crossed this works out. Okay, so I have here a pair of old Asano Hou Bachi. These are probably about, I don't know, 17 years old or so. And these are like my go-to bachi. I use them all the time. I'm due for a new pair probably soon. There's a little bit of a crack on the tip here, so I figured this would be a great pair to use for this project. Before I jump right in, I wanted to let you know I'm going to be following a tutorial by Sean Smith, and I will put a link to his original video down in the description box, along with links for all of the materials I will be using today. All right, so the first step is to take the tape and wrap it around the bachi in a way that's going to determine the shape of the mallet. So the closer you have it to the tip of the bachi, the more of a round shape you will likely have. If you want it more oblong, then probably put it down a bit further. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started, and I'll come back once I have some progress to show you. So I think I'm gonna place this about here. And then I'm gonna wrap this, it's a little crooked. I'm gonna wrap this around quite tightly. So I'm putting a lot of tension on the tape as I'm wrapping. And I wanna make sure to keep the tape nice and even. This is gonna take some time. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this off camera, and I will be back. Okay, I have the first one done here. And I'm gonna try and do the second one on camera in time lapse for you. Okay, I'm back to real time, and I think that these are pretty close to being even. Even in thickness. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and do the one that's the one that has the crack on it first for the wrapping. Okay, so I'm using correct scaled British breeds Guernsey 5-ply 100 grams. I don't have 100 grams because this is partially used 100% pure new British wool. And again, not sure if this is going to be enough. Let me get this started and I'll be right back. Okay, so you start by taking the end of your yarn and hold it with your thumb just underneath the tape there. And make sure to not let it go until it's securely wrapped in there. We're going to pull to the left and then come back up over it. And it's going to wrap on the far side of it and then cross over. I'm going to just keep going around like this. Once that end seems secure, you can go ahead and let go of it. I want to make sure you're pulling tightly on the yarn. I'm going to just go around and around and around. This is going to take a long time, I think. I don't know if I have enough yarn. So I'm going to go ahead and speed it up, and I will be back. Okay, so I decided I'm not going to show this entire process. If you want to see it sped up, you can watch the original video, which I said is going to be linked in the description of this video. I just want to show you how difficult of a time I'm having here. I assumed it would be a bit harder to use thinner yarn. And I mean, I haven't done it any other way at this point, but it is not very easy. I'm trying to keep the thread as tight as I can, and it keeps slipping. Oh, darn it. Yeah, see, I'm going to have to unwind this and do that all over again, unfortunately. So I thought it might be more beneficial to show you this in real time. I think what I'm going to actually do, because in his video, he kept the yarn right next to the previous one. I think I'm going to have to skip forward a bit and try to come back and cover that, because I can't seem to move forward because it's just getting caught at that particular spot. I think maybe this part, I don't know, it's getting a little bit low and hard to secure it against that lip there. So hopefully this is going to turn out okay. I'll keep the video going for a bit in this real-time fashion, and then I might just go ahead and go off camera and finish it up and sort of talk through what the process is like for me. I also do have my kitty here, as you saw, and she is not being very good about staying out of the way. I think I'm regretting using this thin yarn, but I'm going to keep going with it for now anyway. So one thing I'm trying to pay attention to is keeping it even. So I don't want to close up the top right away, or I mean, as I'm closing it up, I want it to be a gradual and even. So trying to turn it a bit more, because I've got, let me see if I could show you. I've got a lot creeping up on this side and then not much on this side quite yet. So that's proving to be a bit tricky. Also, let me see if I can just turn it a bit more. Yeah, no, this is not. This is not easy. If you try this, and if you try with thicker yarn, I'd love to hear how it goes, because I am struggling at the moment. All right, I'm gonna go because I think this is not very exciting to watch, and it will make for a long video. But again, if you want to watch the time-lapse version, go to the original video linked in the description. See you in a bit. Okay, so over time I figured out I just sort of have to come with the string a little bit around and then up, and I'm actually just holding it with my thumb just to make sure it doesn't move, and coming up across the top and then doing the same thing. Sometimes it slips off and then I just go back and adjust that, but the yarn's going to be sewn in after I'm done with this, so as long as it's staying until I get to the sewing part, should be good. So you want to make sure that there's always a hole hanging out at the top here. I'm going to just keep going around a little bit more to thicken up a few areas and make the hole a little bit smaller. I'll be back. Okay, so over time I figured out I just sort of have to come with the string a little bit around and then up. And I'm actually just holding it with my thumb just to make sure it doesn't move, and coming up across the top and then doing the same thing. Sometimes it slips off and then I just go back and adjust that, but the yarn's going to be sewn in after I'm done with this, so as long as it's staying until I get to the sewing part, should be good. So I want to make sure that there's always a hole hanging out at the top here. I'm going to just keep going around a little bit more to thicken up a few areas and make the hole a little bit smaller. I'll be back. Okay, I'm all done here. Now we're going to start the cross stitching part. So I'm going to pull this out, I don't know, about 18 inches. I think that should work. And cut off the end. And I'm going to select one of my yarn needles. And I'm going to try and choose the one that is the smallest one that will work for this yarn, because you know what? This is kind of... I recommend that you put a piece of tape here while you try and get your needle ready, so you don't have to hold this yarn down. Here we go. Let's see what I've got in here. I think this one should work here. All right. So I've got my needle. I'm still holding this tightly so that it doesn't come off. And I'm going to try and thread this through. I think it's going to take a few tries. Let me do this off camera. I'll be right back. Oh, wait, maybe I got it. Look at that. Okay. All right. So in case you haven't sewn before, you want a little bit of it hanging on the opposite side of the eye of the needle, and make sure that the needle doesn't pull off of the thread completely. So I have my end piece here. It's still pulled nice and taut. And what we're going to do, oh, it is not still. This part just came off. Let me just rewrap this last one. Up like that. I'm holding it with my thumb. Okay, so we're going through the top, through this hole here. I'm going to go down underneath all of the yarn and push the needle through about 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch down and pull it through there. Okay, now I've got it taut with the needle here. And I'm going to just continue to do that around the circle, just to stitch this in place so that it can't move. All right, this is way more enjoyable than all of the wrapping around the bachi with this yarn. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stitch all the way around, and then I'll be back. Okay, I'm all done with the top, and that's what it looks like. Now I'm going to just pull that length of thread down to the bottom. And you can see the thread's going this way, but I'm going to sew the opposite direction for the bottom. So I'm going to go through this way, all the way down to the bachi, and wiggle it out and pull that through. I'm going to do the same thing as I did on the top, just go all the way around. Make sure it's nice and secure. Oops. Pull my edge out a little bit further. Okay, so I'm going to do this for a bit, and then I'll come back. Okay, I'm about to do my last, excuse me, I've got this completely backwards. My last stitch here, actually I've already stitched right here, but I'm going to just do one more to tie this off. So you want to leave a loop this time. Don't pull it all the way through. Then I'm going to go back through with my needle and pull it really tightly to create a knot. And then we're just going to cut it off from there. And there we go. So because I used wool, this is over time as I use it, it's going to felt up, and hopefully I can come back. I mean, hopefully it will stay intact, and I'll come back with a review and let you see what it looks like when it's felted up. All right.